I guess. Yeah. Mhm. Oh
And I'll tell you guys since we're all friends. Every character I write has a piece of me in them. Hi, I'm Lee Bardugo. You're listening to the GrishaCast.
Welcome to GrishaCast, episode 109. In this episode, we will be discussing the short story Ayama and the Thornwood from the Language of Thorns. This is your host, Eric.
And I'm Terry from Nashville, Tennessee. This is your podcast for all things Grishaverse.
A world created by someone that we dearly love and consider a friend. Lee Bardugo. Moi Savieni casters.
Hello, hello.
Hi. We have some listener cities.
Of course we do.
Yep.
First we have Bador of Germany.
Woo!
Yay.
And then we're going to Porto Alegre, Brazil.
Woo!
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I did say that correctly, by the way.
Yay.
Yeah,
We did our research.
We sure did. Yeah, so we are happy to be back the next week.
The very next week. Coming at you again.
We sure are. And yeah, starting a whole new book.
And Chris is saying things and making me laugh.
Yeah,
I can hear him in my ear saying things that I'm saying.
Christopher, you're going to need to start like tapping in here, so the listeners can hear you, okay? Because we just sound crazy.
It's like that game where you you're trying to mimic the other person.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. Well, I came in the last episode, so...
Whew.
So you can't come out in every episode, is that what we're saying?
Exactly. I've got a lot of buttons to push.
You do have a lot of buttons to push.
You do.
But hi, listeners. Thanks for coming back this week.
Yeah. He is there. We hear him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Came in hot.
He came in hot, yeah.
Like a wrecking ball.
Ooh, did you catch that when they did that in Bridgerton?
Yes.
Yeah. They played, that was the last song.
Mostly because I have the subtitles on. And so it'll say wrecking ball in classical style.
That's really funny.
Like once you turn subtitles on, you'll never turn them off again. Like that's the problem. Then you start getting really reliant on those things. But there were several songs. Like every episode had a modern song in it. So it was kind of cool to have the subtitles on, and it would tell you what the song was. And you're like, oh yeah, that is that song.
Yeah, because I sat there the majority of the time being like, I know the song, but I can't figure out what it was.
They did Material Girl.
Yes, I heard that one. I figured out. Wrecking Ball, I was really proud of myself to figure out, to be honest.
It was actually really good.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And the timing for that song, too, was really good. I thought it was great that they... So, Terry and I have already finished the second season of Bridgerton.
Yeah, so we won't spoil it or anything.
We're not, but we're going to talk about it because it's great.
Yes.
And yeah, so I came up Friday. You probably finished it before me, but I did I finished the very last episode Sunday night.
I watched it all in one go on a Saturday. I stayed in bed.
Oh, it was so good. I loved it.
For the most part, yes.
I
enjoy, it is so not historically accurate.
Oh, yeah.
But
I love that.
To just watch, the colors and the costuming and, all of that is really fun.
I agree. I think the things that are pretty much make it historically not accurate is the parts that I really enjoy watching just because it's really pretty to watch.
Yes, it is very beautiful.
And
I was told the books were infinitely better.
Really?
I mean, it's always how it goes.
Well, yeah.
But yes, I was told that Rachel told me that the books were so much better.
Okay. Well, I'll have to try it. I wanted to.
I think it's like a whole long series of smaller books. So, yeah.
Okay. So, I think I like the second season better than the first.
I don't know.
It's hard to decide, but I think I really did. I really liked it. I was really proud. There was a moment in the very last episode where there's that character that the mom that that you don't really like for a while. She's the mother of you know, oh gosh. I know, I'm horrible with names. Um okay, Miss Whisper, whatever. What's the person? Yeah, I know. Please.
I'm just letting.
No, don't. Please help. Okay, I'll look it up. What are their names? It's not the Bridgerton family. It's
Right.
the Feathertons. Yes, I got it. Okay, Miss Featherton or Featherington.
Featherington.
There we
Yeah.
go. Add that extra little. Okay, Miss Featherington. I really don't like that much. However, that last episode when she gets all like, she
Yes.
has this line that I've never heard someone say that they're a mother and have that much power in it. Like, it's just like, she says, I'm a mom. It's just, and she doesn't say it like that, but
Yeah.
it's so good. I was like, yes, ma'am, work. I don't normally like you, but I do now. I did. I thought that was a really cool moment.
Yes.
It surprised me.
It was. She had a nice like character arc where like she's an antagonist through a lot of the series, but then at the end there you're like, all right, okay.
It's a cool surprise.
Yeah.
It really was. And I think it's interesting to see Penelope's growth. Who's your favorite character? Mine's Eloise.
I don't know.
I love
I don't know, honestly.
Mm,
I do like the dressmaker. I mean, other than like I have a crush on her because she's beautiful,
she's
but
gorgeous.
she has a fun character.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say because there's not one character that I just like absolutely love. I kind of like the middle son.
The
because
one
he's
that
artsy.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, the middle son. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I do. They're all great characters, and they do a fantastic job. And it's a beautifully written show. So, did you know that that the guy that we were missing from this season quit after the first season? I had to look that up because I was like, "Where is he?"
The one that everybody fell in love with because he's so pretty.
And then so. Do you know more? Because I mean, I feel like this. I've never seen him before. This has to be probably one of his hit shows, and then he quits.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm sure people listening have the answers, and they're like, "Come on!" But I don't. Because I just don't follow those things. I just heard that he quit right after the series aired on Netflix. It was like, yeah, he's out.
Which I think is interesting because for some reason I feel like the second season was probably going to continue with their story, and I think the writers had to go a different direction. And I give them props because they did a fantastic job. It really is good. So okay, well, this is not Bridgerton cast, so.
But we talk about things, and I was saying before, this season of Outlander is. Oh, it's so good.
Is it?
It's quickly becoming my favorite one because it is spot on to the books.
Okay,
because they were going on left field, and it really started to irritate me. I didn't even finish last season because I was so aggravated. But I was like, all right. Actually, Diana Gabaldon was saying something on Facebook about it, and then a friend of mine said that it was very close to the books, and I was like, all right, fine. I will go try it again, and it's amazing.
Good. It broke my heart when I started hearing you talk about where the seasons, where it just started losing you and that you weren't watching it. I was like, that's so sad. I feel so bad because I know how much you love that. So I'm glad to hear that. So you didn't finish those other bad seasons, did you?
Did. I finished it up. The ending of season 5 was very heartbreaking, and I knew that scene was coming. So that was another reason why I was like, all right, I don't really necessarily need to see it. But I did. I finished it. But this season is it's amazing.
Oh, good.
It's so good.
Okay. Well, I still have to finish it. I'm still slowly watching it, but I'm not like completely. I'm not gonna do what I did last time, which is stop forever and then have to rewatch the entire show so I can remember stuff. But
Young Ian, who is one of my favorite characters from the books, is getting his due in this season. They're telling his backstory and everything.
oh,
And he is actually a queer actor. He's doing some acting, I think, on Broadway and in another movie or something. But he he's a queer actor, and I feel like we should try to get him on.
we should. Chris, jot down that note.
but I thoroughly enjoy his character, and he's doing a great job with it. So it makes me very happy.
That's awesome.
Side note.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Yes.
Because I'm glad you're enjoying it. Because that really did. I'm not even kidding. That really broke my heart when you were saying like I
It
just
broke
don't.
my heart.
I know it had to. So
Yeah. So you were going on date night last week.
yes.
How was that?
Okay, it was fantastic. And I just have to say to those of you out there, if you have an immersive Van Gogh exhibit that you can go to, because I know they're around the country, it is so worth every dollar, cent, penny.
It travels, doesn't it? Like, doesn't it?
I believe so. However, when I was looking at the one that is here, they've got to be there for a very long time
Yeah.
because like I can't imagine them putting this amount, like the amount of money that they had to spend on the one in Nashville. Like, I mean, this building, like, I mean, it's designed for them. You can tell there's like all these like sculptures outside that are like just Van Gogh stuff. I
Hmm.
can't imagine that it's going to be leaving soon. It would surprise me a lot. Just because also when I was looking inside the exhibit itself, I can't imagine what else they would do there. Like, seriously, I have no clue what you would do with that space. So do you know what it is? Do you know how it works? Like what you're going if you go to the immersive Van Gogh? Like I'm sure
I
you've
have
seen
an idea, but I'm
Okay.
sure like you could probably explain it to everybody, like all the listeners and everything.
Not well. I can't. I
It's a
real
lot of like projectors and things, right?
correct. It's just the only way I can figure out how to explain it is that we you go into a room with a lot of other people. Um, However, imagine that you've got this like movie that's going on, but it's completely like encircles you. So, I mean, to watch all of it, you need to kind of be watching. And however, this is set up like, I mean, this is so it's not, there's no talking. There are songs that go along with it, but the person that created this, I wish I knew his name. Um, but it's to show you not just Van Gogh's art, but through Van Gogh's eyes, him creating what he created. And that is done very well. It's so cool. I think if this is what art is going to become, I'm really excited because it's definitely a way to get people that don't enjoy art into it because it's really neat. I was really impressed and I would do it again. Ooh, I hit the mic. Um,
But I heard they kind of like show like brush strokes
yeah.
and like things like that as it goes along. Cool.
Yeah, you don't see a brush, but
Right.
there are things like and the music that they've put along with it is incredible and it was really neat. Chris and I actually I think we did good. So there's two rooms that you could be in. I wish people were walking around more. However, people mostly are sitting and just watching.
Right. Yeah.
And I enjoyed that. Like I'm when we first walked into the first room though, I was very confused because there were just all these people lined up sitting on the floor, lined up in this one row, and then they were all staring at the wall to the right. Well, luckily like we saw that there was the other room and we walked in and that was a bigger space and there was actually this like little it was just like a place that we could actually sit right in the middle. It was perfect. It was like this little bench,
Mhm.
and we sat like with our backs to each other, and like I watched. It was so cool. I know. I don't want to
Oh.
ruin it. It was just like, it is phenomenal, and you learn a lot. Um, I think maybe me being like someone that I love art and trying to like, I wish I could like paint well. I enjoy painting. I'm not the best painter at all because I just enjoy doing it. it's so incredible. So even I just saw that people that wouldn't even care about art would enjoy watching this
Right.
just for the fact
Cool.
that it's cool.
I want to add to, I know last week I promised our listeners that I would sleep through it, but I absolutely could not because the music was really loud, which was great, but the entire place was very impressive. If, like Eric said, if you have an opportunity to go to one, check it out because I'm a techie nerd, and the fact that they had this seamless video projected, 360 on these walls and the floor.
Yeah.
There were points where you felt like you're in an elevator because the entire video was moving,
Ah.
panning up or panning down, and I kind of was taking it in, and I'm like, wow, I feel like we're flowing, down through the ground. And actually, there was a place where there was grass, and it looked like you were kind of sticking your head up through the grass. It was really impressive. I got dizzy a couple times because it was, when they say immersive, they are absolutely not kidding. The floor, the walls, are just completely surrounded, and so you were literally like inside of his mind. It was really impressive, and from a techie standpoint, it was absolutely fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah. And I did, like, I mean, and I think it's awesome. Starry Night is like probably its very famous painting is the last one you get to be a part of. And that's really cool to see. And they do an incredible job with it. I love the music that they use with that. But, anyways, I want to go back. Like, I really do. Um, and just let you know, like, even if your ticket says you can only be there for an hour, at least if you're in the Nashville one, they are not checking that stuff. Like, I think you could probably go in at like lunchtime and they would never know that you came out past dinner. Like, you could probably sit in there forever. It's dark. They can't
Yeah.
like check stuff, but it's really cool. So,
But you guys had a good time together? Going
yeah,
on a date?
I was really happy that I got to experience it with Chris.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did
The-
you kiss on your date?
We don't kiss and tell.
Ooh, good job. However, I do love experiencing things like new things with Chris. Like, and that's something that was like just amazing.
Oh, that was
Aw.
absolutely new.
It was.
Aw,
And
cute.
yeah, I hope that this is seriously where art is going though, because I can't wait to if other people start creating other artists like this, that's going to be really neat. So,
I would
okay.
imagine when that exhibit is finished, the way that they've done this space, they will have to bring in another exhibit. I mean, it only makes sense because that's about all you can do with this. You couldn't, because it's 360, you really couldn't play a film. So I think if
Yeah.
if they were smart, whoever owns this place is going to start, let's do Monet, and let's start, that's the art exhibit. And I think hopefully they'll just rotate art exhibits through that way.
But they have to have people create that though. Like that took so long to do because I was reading somewhere that's like I don't even know how many projectors. It's like thousands of projectors that are being used during this like exhibit, and
Well, I only counted like 8, but um the from the ceiling they project for social distancing, they project circles, and it looks like they had more projectors doing circles on the floor than they did
is
on the
that what that
wall.
was for?
Yeah, the circles are for social distancing.
I thought it was just a nice place to say,
You,
"Hey, here's a good place for you to sit."
you
so you
thought it
can
was
see
cute
everything.
that our bench was surrounded by a circle?
I thought it was just them saying, "Here's a good place to sit.
Well,
Here's another
kinda,
one."
yeah.
It is. Here's a good place to sit 6 feet away from the
I
other
didn't
person.
recognize that. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Aw.
thought the circles were just to help us. Like I mean they were, but okay, cool. Hey, that was neat. Okay. So I know
Chris is losing it.
he loved my husband. So
I love your husband too.
so you have a trip coming up.
I do.
So we'll be able to check in with you next week to see what that's like because you're going to see your favorite band, right?
So yes, one of my okay, so I'm sure it's the same with everybody. Like you get obsessed with a certain band. So like my current obsessed band is playing 2 hours away in one city on Thursday night, and then 2 hours away from that city. So like Huntsville and then Chattanooga, the next night. So I'm gonna play old groupie and follow the band from one city to the next for 2 days. So I'm looking forward to it because like when you go to a show and you're like, oh dang, that was so cool. I wish it would last forever. I got the next one to look forward to. So
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited. My brother's going with me. He's
Aw.
the only other human in this world that I know of that has my same music taste. So we go to shows together because it's hard to find other people that enjoy the same type of music. So and then because I like small bands, I like bands that don't have a big fan base.
Yeah.
Um, I but I have a really bad habit of picking really great bands and they
That them
become
big.
more popular.
Yeah.
So like I'll follow a band for years and every time I go see them, the crowd grows more and more and I'm like, "Dang it."
Yeah.
Um
I understand that.
Yeah, but like this band is really cool cuz the lead singer always hangs out before and after the show and um I've talked to him many times before and I'm excited cuz I was telling you I think I figured out one of the songs.
Yeah.
Like what cuz he writes songs about weird things. Um and so I think I figured one out and I can't wait to ask him about it on Thursday. Be like,
Ooh.
"Hey, excuse me, Jack."
Well, that is exciting.
I know.
I
I'm
can't.
excited.
Oh, and his name's Jack. I love that name.
It is a cute name.
It is.
Yes.
Well, make sure to tune in next week when we find out how her trip went, because that's gonna be fantastic.
If we get selfies with the band or anything, I'll have Eric put it on Instagram
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
We'll
guys
put.
should put. Do you have any pictures from Van Gogh to put up?
So,
Let
Chris.
me first. We
Yeah.
took a picture on the way in.
Mhm.
There was a really neat Van Gogh quote on the wall. But when we got in there, we saw a bunch of young people who spent the entire time like on their phone taking pictures to prove they were there. That we didn't even pull out our phone because we wanted to experience
Yeah.
it. Like I never thought about taking a picture while we were in
No.
there.
Yeah, a lot of people were, and that's awesome. However, I wanted to just. I didn't want to take out my phone because I enjoy experiencing something like that with Chris, where like I don't know, it's just like we get to tell people about it, but I don't need a. I don't want a picture. I want people to go and see that. I don't want people to see what it's like. That's part of the surprise. And hey, I'm glad people had fun taking pictures with their friends and being there. It was just something that Chris and I don't really do that often.
I always have to take a selfie, like if I go somewhere, because I like to put it in
Yeah,
my Facebook, and then it come up like the next year. Like I like for it to surprise me, like, oh yeah.
absolutely.
So I like to take my little like selfies wherever I go. So there will be pictures from this weekend, but if I get like a cool picture with the band or something, then I have some from the past, but if I have some from this weekend, then I'll shoot it over
Please do.
so that you can post it and everybody can see me being an old groupie.
Well, it's gonna be fun. I know you're gonna love it.
I am very excited. I can't wait until Thursday.
Oh, well, good. Well, we can't wait to hear all about it.
Yay.
So, okay. Well, you know what? We are here for a purpose, and that is
To be best friends.
that too. Obviously, yes. So, best friend cast. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm excited. We're starting Language of Thorns,
Mhm.
and we have to remember this is Terry's first time reading through it.
Mhm.
And yeah, so we read the first story, which, by the way, if this is your first time, we're not going to do a synopsis of it. We're just going to kind of discuss all these different things about it. So we're hoping that you've read the story. If you have not read this and you want to, then stop. Don't listen to the rest of this podcast because we'll spoil it for you.
And if you don't care to read it and you just want to hear us babble about it, then
Even
keep
better.
on going.
Exactly. However, this is definitely one of those books that I definitely will recommend you getting a physical copy because of the artwork inside, which is beautiful. Um, however, the Audible is really good too.
Well, because it's the same woman.
Lauren Fortgain.
I
I love her
she
voice.
does a bunch of voices.
She does a really good job too. I think it's incredible.
Yes. Like you can obviously tell one character from the other as she's going through.
Yeah, because Mazil is definitely Bagra.
Yes.
From
Yeah.
So, Ayama and the Thornwood. First off, what did you like? I mean, were you surprised? But did you like this story? It's long. It's
It
definitely one of
is.
the longer ones.
Yes, I listened to it on Audible instead
Mhm.
of reading it, and I have anywhere from like a 45-minute to an hour commute home, And it took the entire commute. Like I was in my driveway listening to the last couple minutes of it. I was like, goodness. Um, yes, I enjoyed it. I thought that it was a perfect story to like start us off. Obviously Thornwood,
The Thorns, yeah.
Thorn, language of thorns. Thornwood is a running theme in the Grisha world.
Right.
So I thought that was it was a good like
Opener.
yes, it was a very good opener.
And we have to remember this is a very important thing. This book is considered what the fairy tales or the bedtime stories that were told to our favorite characters from the Grishaverse. They speak about it all the time. We hear like Alina speak about referencing Nikolai with the too clever fox, and that we'll read that next week. However, like so, I think it's really neat to read these because I just can imagine some of our favorite characters actually hearing them.
So as I was looking stuff up for this, somebody had written something about the difference between Language of Thorns and Lives of Saints. I get those mixed up because they both start with an L and my brain
Oh.
is like so they said to think of Lives of Saints as Greek mythology
Yeah.
and Language of Thorns as Mother Goose.
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes so much more sense to me now if you think about it as like Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made more sense to me.
Yeah. I agree. There is however, there is a story there's some stuff in here that I think tells a story that's tells more the more factual parts of a story than what we read in some of the stories in Lives of Saints. Just heads up with that one. I
Alrighty.
know. You'll see. We'll get there. However,
Well, fairy tales have to come from somewhere, so
exactly.
there you
They
go.
do. This reminded me of a couple different fairy tales. I got some Beauty and the Beast vibes.
Yes.
I got Cinderella from Ayama's character, like being in the soot
Right.
and then there was they're just different.
And Arabian Nights.
Okay.
Arabian Nights is one where a girl tells stories as to not be
Oh.
killed. So
Yeah.
it was kind of a mush of a few things.
There is, yeah. There's a lot of different kind of
And
things.
if anybody's ever read the one that I didn't like, Rose and Thorns or A Crown of Rose, or what's that book called that I read and that you haven't read?
The book
There's a whole series.
Twilight?
No.
Oh. I haven't read that.
No, the series is like a something of something and something.
Oh, a chord of
Yes. A chord.
just name two nouns.
Yes, but there's thorns. It's a chord
And
of
roses.
something and yes.
Yeah. Roses and thorns.
It was very similar.
Oh my god, people are gonna hate us because that's a really popular.
Please
like,
don't hate me.
I'm sorry, listeners.
It's
We
not
know what
my
you're
thing. I didn't. Sorry.
Yeah, people love that. I haven't read it. We didn't say anything
There's
bad.
things that you would not like about things that I like, and
Exactly.
that's just how it goes.
It is
But
true.
this story was kind of along that kind of realm too. But remember, I told you that book reminded me of Beauty and the Beast. It was a very Beauty and the Beast type story. So, but yeah, this is kind of along the same.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's neat, and I do agree with you on saying like it's definitely a good opener. It really is. I didn't think about that until you mentioned it, but it really is a good opener.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what I really appreciate about this story is it really is. It shows us the Grishaverse. I think in a way that like it is like a kind of fun magical fairy tale, but the end, finding out that they both are monsters. That's it's just kind of like this gritty, grim fairy tale, I think. And that's what I appreciate about the Grishaverse.
And I have theories on that, but I guess we can get that to where when we talk about the ending. But
yeah, I know. I kind of so
we're just gonna do whatever we
We
want.
are, because we barely know what we're doing anyways.
This is our show.
Yes.
And we don't know what we're doing. So you know what?
We will figure it out along the way.
We will do what we want.
However, we do have a small little outline. We're going to try to see if it works.
And you know what?
If it doesn't, it doesn't. And y'all won't know. But it's okay. So I did find I was looking up fairy tale stuff and finding out what some basis, different elements of it. So anyways, my first question for us to kind of answer is there a moral lesson in the story? And I know we did that with the Lives of Saints. However, I didn't think it really relates to fairy tales, but of course it relates to fairy tales. People always there's always moral lessons in fairy tales, whether they're factual or not. I mean, some are a little bit crazier than others.
Some are just a fun story, but
yeah.
I mean,
This one has some interesting ones. It's not easy, I don't think, to think. I had to definitely think for a minute.
There's a whole judging a book by its cover
Exactly. Yep.
kind of theme to it.
Yeah,
But
and
that's kind of the theme of Beauty and the Beast.
it is.
So,
And telling the truth is important. And it can
the truth shall set you free.
it might be hard, but it's always worth it, I think. And this is kind of just the other side of the judge a book by its cover, but specifically, prettiness is not the only thing that needs to define a person.
Yeah, I was gonna say money and beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see. Even in hard situations, it's important to try to look at it from a positive perspective. What I noted, I got that from. I started to notice this trend in Ayama's thoughts. She was always she doesn't say much really in this book, in the story. She doesn't talk a lot. She's very quiet and she speaks it's said in there. But when she does speak in her head, the little things she's always trying to counteract something that she's scared of, or with this positive thought.
Yeah.
And I'm trying. Hold on, wait. I've got. So before she enters the Thornwood, she thinks, oh, well, here's the quote. Well, she thought, for she had learned to keep silent even when alone. At least I do not have to work today, and I will see something new before I die.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's just, and then before she entered the Thornwood, actually, at least you will take it in the shade, she considered. And really, is the wood much worse than a garden overgrown with pricklers? It is probably very dull inside and will do nothing more than bore me to tears. And she's scared at that moment. So she's trying to I think I don't know. It was interesting. I thought she's got a lot of, I don't know, oomph. She's for a little girl, I think she's just I think people, don't judge a book by its cover because she's a really strong little girl. Okay, so that's yeah, and so I got there. That's the moral lessons I thought of. Yeah. So, okay, well, do we want to move on to the next?
Sure.
Okay, so who are our characters? What we got up in here?
Oh,
we got a lot.
Of course we have. We have our girl.
Yes.
And we have the monster.
Did you come up with a nickname for him? Because I did.
Did you?
Yeah, Wolf Baby. I don't know. That's what I kept on calling him.
Wolf Baby.
Well, because he starts off as a wolf baby. And I just, ever since I thought, oh, she had a wolf baby, it just stuck. So.
And then we have the sister, the beautiful sister.
Yeah, so what's the name? I can't remember. Oh, Kima.
Yes.
And then
we have the monster's more handsome brother.
Who never got a name, just the prince.
The prince. And then we have the sister's parents.
Yeah.
And grandmother.
Grandmother's Mazil.
And then we have the prince's parents, who are obviously the king and queen.
And that's it.
And the king actually was he started off the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
So we've got
we have the townspeople.
We do. The ensemble.
So
our hero, obviously, and protagonist of the story is Ayama.
Mm-hmm.
And then, However, like our villain, it starts out thinking it's Wolf Baby, but it ends up being the king is the villain.
Yes,
So
because of the whole judgy thing.
yeah, um, and then everybody, and then the other thing that I thought was neat of an element, so like of the fairy tales was like the whole hero and villain. Yeah, we know that, but the friend aspect, I never realized that there's a friend which is considered someone that helps the hero, and Ayama's got a couple of them. Although I think Mazil helps the
Yes,
most.
I think Mazil knew what she was doing.
Yeah. But her sister's one, the queen is one. I mean, they definitely
Yes,
they help her. I mean,
yeah, the queen was I think a surprising one. I didn't really expect the queen
yeah,
to be a helper.
I didn't either. However, I think and I didn't catch this until another read. The queen, we have to remember it's not spoken that it's in the very beginning. I don't know if a lot of people caught it, but she grew up like I mean, there's the story of her husband falling in love with her, and she grew up poor as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's relatable for her.
Yeah,
So she
maybe.
sees Ayama.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so those are our characters. And I mean it's a good cast. Love it.
Yeah.
Um so okay. Do we think we want to move on from that, or did you want to? Did I ask you? Did I put this question? I can't remember. Does the hero deserve the treatment they receive? Or no, I never told you that.
No, you didn't ask me that.
I randomly threw that in. We can do that next time. So that'll be fun. I don't want to do something without you.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, we can talk about whatever we want to.
we can. Um, Within our cast, I always think places are casts as well. And I think the Thornwood itself is kind of maybe a character. Even
So, yes, I actually have that in my notes. Speaking of Thornwood,
ooh, look at that.
I know I've been doing research. Um, so the Thornwood, I would, but I think most people would associate it with
You would?
Ravka.
Yes.
But it's like the plant related to the making of the heart of the world. So it would make sense that it would be all over the world. And we were talking earlier, it's a Zimini story, which I think is fantastic because I don't think we hear enough from that
Side.
from Novia Zim.
We don't.
So now we're hearing about like the Thornwood in Novia Zim, which I thought was cool. So I don't know if we need. I'm just gonna go for it.
Do it, girl. I do it all the time. Come on, just read.
I'm like
You got it.
I have a whole train of thought.
Mhm.
So the whole Thornwood thing is related to rituals that are merging beast and humans, right? Like the
Right.
whole thing is
Ooh,
like,
look at I see what you did there.
see?
I'm so proud of you.
So,
I didn't even think of that.
so I'm going to make the crazy assumption
Mhm.
that the beast and possibly Ayama are both Grisha.
Ooh. Okay.
And that's where the Thornwood like comes into play here because we've got monsters and humans or monsters and Grisha combining.
Mhm.
And
Beast maybe would be a bit.
Beast,
Yeah, cuz it's not
yes.
beast cuz I
So
Mhm.
like the whole priest guard,
Yep.
the Obispaya. So hello. So like
Wow.
yes.
I like that. And it makes sense too because I mean, she I'm guessing that since you couldn't like there's a part in the story that we read the beast can't like I mean shows Ayama that like just a regular blade will not cut its skin.
Right.
However, I do think that that's the reason that then the king gives Ayama the thorn because that might be the only
See?
thing that could cut it.
Oh, you're on my wavelength now.
Girl, I got you.
You got it.
I know, and I think that's
Look what we just did.
I'm impressed because I think that's awesome. I love that connection. I did not see that, and I think that's really, really phenomenal. Especially because we connected the beginning to the end.
Yes.
That's some good teamwork we got there. And
did it.
I'm proud of you. I think that's awesome. So, and I love reading about the Thornwood.
That's how I read books though.
Yeah.
Like I never take a story at face value. like I'm constantly picking it apart in my brain. So that's what happens when I read.
Well, please keep doing it because that's what we're doing on the show. We're picking apart. So I need your help. And that's so neat. And I've always loved the fact that the Thornwood is such a theme
Yeah.
with the Grishaverse. However, like it doesn't, yeah. So I think that's neat.
So now the story gets even deeper than you thought at first glance.
Absolutely, because I was not a big fan of the story, to be honest. When I first read it, I thought it was, I liked it, but it didn't. I don't know. It just wasn't my favorite. However, now like
Yeah, I mean the
that's
book
really
is Language of Thorns, so
yeah
like I think it's a great
an
it's a
intro.
great addition and intro.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and it makes sense now. And
Yes.
so the next element of a fairy tale is magic. However, there's like there is a little bit in here, but it's you've got to be looking for it, I think, to be honest. Like, because it's not our normal like magic that we read about.
Right, and also the whole Grisha element of it.
Hmm.
If we're going down that path with the Thornwood and the Grisha,
Yep.
when they talk about the flower that doesn't wilt,
Yes.
a Grisha could totally do that.
Exactly. Yeah, the thornwood itself is specific. Like the when she first walks into the thornwood, like I mean, actually like that whole description is like I mean, it's just like there's all this stuff that seems magical because it's not the same, and the beast gives her a piece of the like I mean, so what is it again? It's that tree from that
Quince.
store. The quint. Yes, exactly that quince is like it that is magical that he gives her to prove that she was there.
Or not necessarily magical, maybe small sciencey.
Yeah, small sciencey.
Yeah.
You're right. It is
But
small.
once I started
You went down.
thinking about it as Grisha,
Hmm.
then it all kind of fell together. Where like they could totally
Do this.
make the flower not wilt. Like that's absolutely in their power.
Yeah,
So yeah.
that's so crazy because I remember starting this. I'm like, well, we can't talk about the different Grisha orders because we don't have that. But yet here you are, like
Uh-huh.
proving me wrong. Yes, we can.
Yes.
So there I think you're right. Yeah, we don't want to say like it's not magic; it's small science.
Mhm.
However, there is a lot of that, surprisingly, in it. It's just not right there in your face
Yes.
as we normally are used to. So, but I know, like, I mean, hey, we'll keep doing it. We'll see what else magical is in this. Okay, so another element, and there's only five by the way, guys. So obstacles and tasks. So there's
There were a lot.
always an obstacle. Yeah, there are.
You have to. If there were no obstacles, the
There'd be no
story
story.
would be very boring.
Absolutely.
It would be our character went fishing. The end.
The king definitely is the one that creates the obstacles, I think. The
Mhm.
majority of them.
Yeah.
Because he
Literally and figuratively, like
Yeah.
the maze is a literal obstacle.
Yep. And I always love the word labyrinth. I've never
Yes.
have you ever been to like an actual like I mean one that like the hedge maze or something?
Yes.
I've never and I've wanted to my entire life. I hit the mic again. It scared me.
I can't hear it in here, so you're good.
Okay.
Um,
I've always wanted to go to an actual hedge maze. Like I would flip out. I've never been to one ever. I know, isn't that
yes.
sad?
I think it was when I went to Germany was when I went in
Wow.
one, and then I mean, have you done like a corn maze?
No, I've never done any of those. Like
Oh,
I've
okay.
never actually been.
Well, in the fall, there's corn mazes everywhere here, so you can go do that.
Okay.
It's the same thing. It's just
Corn.
not green
Not green. Well, okay. It's just yellow.
or very light brown.
Which, by the way, is Van Gogh's favorite color at one point.
Huh.
Yellow. Just letting you know. I know sunflowers and yellow.
Okay.
That's what I learned. Okay. So
Trivia.
Trivia. Yeah, it is. Bring that to
Mhm.
your next. I don't know.
Trivial Pursuit night.
Yeah, sure.
I am here for you.
You are. So,
Obstacles.
yeah. I'm like, okay, obstacle.
There were lots of obstacles.
Yeah, and
There were character like internal obstacles.
yes. Did you find it interesting that like hit the not monsters, the beasts told Ayama that like I mean her obstacle to get out of the Thornwood alive was to tell him a story that made him any other emotion except for anger.
Yeah.
I thought that was just I don't know, I was just kind of surprised. I actually expected it to change each time, but it didn't.
Oh, like
Like
something other than
yeah,
sadness, something other than loneliness, something other than
yeah, but it didn't. And I mean, I understand what he's doing. I mean, because every time she goes back, she learns something more about how the king was horrible to his
yeah.
son. So
Yeah, she starts piecing it together.
she does. So
And I also
mm,
thought it was really interesting. Actually, you could go ahead and announce number 5. I guess this kind of fits in.
yeah, the happily ever after.
I thought it very interesting that when Ayama's talking to the prince and the king, she notes that they never ask me what I want. They never, like, if they
Yeah,
would just ask me, she's like, I want to sit down. I want a glass of water. I want these things. And they're offering her riches
specific
and
things.
houses and like all this stuff. And she's like, I just want to sit down and have a drink, but nobody asked me. And that's kind of what draws her to this wonderful place with the beast, is that she's like sitting down and enjoying herself, and
Yeah,
the beast is actually talking to her as her, which she doesn't get in her everyday life. And so I thought that theme was kind of fun and interesting.
absolutely. I agree. And I think it's just it's an interesting like I thought when she like remember when she goes off like the first time and then when she comes back she expects that like she's thinking like all the stuff is going to be clean like someone else is going to have to do all my
Yes.
chores when I'm gone.
Like, I just went and did this amazing thing for everybody.
But yet she comes back and what does she have to do? No
Has-
one's done anything.
Yeah, she has to assume her regular responsibilities. # mom life.
Yes. Ayama is #mom life. And she's still a kid.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yes, I thought it was an interesting theme there, that she's the whole time thinking in her head like
Mm-hmm.
nobody's she actually I think she says at one point that she is she likes that the beast asks her questions and likes
Yeah.
that the beast talks to her. So I mean you can totally apply that to real life.
Mm-hmm. You can.
100%.
So our happily ever after, I think yes,
Uh-huh.
it is.
Yeah. 'Cause
It definitely is.
they are ruling together
And it's a cool,
and everybody wants to be them now.
yeah, and it's really cool. It's not the typical like everybody runs away from beasts and monsters. They are so what people have been scared of because you know everybody's scared of something different. That's what the king doesn't like his son and wants him gone. It's because it's something different. They don't want to try to learn about it. It's just and that's in normal life. Everybody is scared of something different. However, here it is absolutely like totally like they start off by showing that it's different. However, then it's like enraptured and like taken into this kingdom where they want now that's what they want. Like I mean, I love the very last sentence where it describes like the king like the people of the village now like dream of their daughters being
Yeah.
like, you know, like beasts and
They want their kids to have red eyes and
exactly.
Yeah.
Because like everybody like the enemies fear them.
Mhm.
I thought it was neat.
Yeah.
And it ended
But they saw that the enemy of the whole story were the people that they looked up to,
Mhm.
and this person or this thing that was feared was the savior in all of this. So yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's so neat. I thought it was neat that I didn't expect Ayama to be
No,
a beast at
because
all.
that's opposite of what usually happens. It's kind of like Shrek.
Yes.
But typically with Beauty and the Beast stories, the beast becomes a beautiful prince.
Yes.
But if you think about it, that ruins the whole theme about judging a book by its cover.
Yeah, because you're becoming what you're trying. Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
So this actually makes way more sense.
Yeah, because Ayama becomes what everybody fears. And it's just, I thought it was really neat. And I just love it because I love how dark and twisted it is. And yeah, so I
Yep.
think Happily Ever After.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Ayama got it.
Yep.
What happened to the king, though? Did he run away?
He got put in the labyrinth.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which is perfect. So
Yes.
he's probably, yeah, because that's right. They say you can probably hear him crying
yes.
now. So, aw. Well, good. You deserve it. You put a child in there.
Right?
So, I mean, huh.
Right.
We're going to call DCS on you. Wait. Yeah. I think I got that acronym wrong, but maybe not. Did I? I love that you're thinking. Who knows? It is okay, though.
Child Protection Services.
Yeah.
CPS. I don't know.
Hey, we're going to call someone.
DCS, Department of Child Services.
So I got it right.
Woohoo!
I did say it right. I think and the reason I thought I didn't is because I used to say something totally wrong.
Yeah.
Like when we're getting into the foster stuff. So I just remember I always mess that up. Anyways,
welcome to our lives.
Yeah. So Happily Ever After, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so what do we like? I mean, I thought that was a good story. However, I'm going to say this. I like it more now at the end of the podcast than I did when I started. And that is because of you, girl.
Because we talked through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really loved it. So, I can't wait to see what else is going to happen with this book.
Yes.
Okay. So, well, that is the end of this story. So now it's that special time for... GrishaCast news! And don't worry, we don't got none. Nope, none.
No news today.
But that's okay, because we're going to move on. And what we're going to move on to is next week, we will be doing the second story. And that is The Too Clever Fox.
Yay!
I know.
I've actually read this one.
Have you?
Yeah, I read it before when we were talking about, I think it was in the back of one of the books.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's exciting. It's going to be fun. And listeners, if you guys have any input or questions, send them our way. We'll be glad
if you have any other tidbits that you've picked out from these things, let us know.
And we always are mentioning how there's things that you would know that we can't figure out, and we have internet right in front of us. So answer that question and send it to us. So,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been lovely. We'll see you all next week. Long live the Grishaverse.
We're at the end of the hour, so my voice is a little husky. A plus.
No mourners.
No funerals.
This has been GrishaCast. Connect with us on the web at GrishaCast.com. Send an email to info@GrishaCast.com.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at GrishaCast.
And thank you to our wonderful, clever staff, Chris, Alex, Michelle, Sid, and Chloe.